Hey people, you know who it is. You know what we're doing here. Kente Bates, Halcyon Fitness Group, back behind the wheel. It's a cold November day here in the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better. Hopefully things are better wherever you may be. Right now we're talking attitudes. Attitudes are a big part of life, a big part of living. How you perceive things, how you go about things, how you go about doing business. Attitude. It's been said that your attitude determines your altitude. And that saying is right. Because of the way you see things in life, the way you handle pressure, the way you handle things when things don't go your way. That tells someone like me everything that we need to know. It's one of the best tells of a person what kind of person they are, what kind of things they're into, what they're doing, what they're about, things of that nature. Attitude. I know that we've all heard this expression, have an attitude of gratitude. And I would agree with that also, because if you're grateful for things, it'll show. And you won't have a stank attitude. And we all know what a stank attitude is. Not being the best that you can be as far as attitude goes. Kind of snarky, kind of petty. You got this thing where you got a chip on your shoulder. The person's a problem. The person's problematic. There's always something going on. Somebody's always got the smoke. And when I say they always got the smoke, for those of you who are familiar with that term, I mean that someone always has a problem. There's always a there. There's always a story. There's always some finger pointing and blaming and blame shifting and goalpost moving going on. That's what I mean by that. Attitude. Now, in this country, what I'm talking about is basically on a hypothesis and theory. Obviously, things such as classism, racism, sexism, and just flat out bias exist. That influences a whole lot of how people see life and how they see themselves. So let's talk realistically. I don't want to just, get on a tangent, spouting a bunch of stuff that may or may not even be real. I just wanted to put that out there. Attitude makes a difference. Or could I just flip it on his head or say perception? Because so much of attitude is perception. The way you see things is the way you're going to do things. That ties into everything that the Halcyon Fitness Group is all about. Changing the world through changing the way a person sees themselves, and that will go out to the world around. Beyond your sphere of influence, beyond any and all things. Now you must know, as I always say, you must know who you are. You must have an idea of where you're going in life. You have to know, who and what you are. You have to know what your problems are, what your triggers are. what is hurting you, what is attacking you. You can't grow comfortable, doing the same old thing. As far as attitude or perception goes, gotta be bettering ourselves every day. Stuff like affirmations, building yourself up, being your biggest cheerleader, not waiting for someone else to pump you up, you pump yourself up. Other forms of meditation, where they're just sitting there, sitting there with your collective thoughts, or it could be something else, sitting there, like a lot of people into yoga do, they're sitting there, crisscross applesauce, in a deep state of contemplation, in a deep state of trying to reunite with their spirit, reunite with their soul, and try to bring what's in their inner world outward. For others, it may be religion. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Buddhist, whether you're a Muslim. Meditation. Meditation works. Now also, and lastly, I'll end with this one. Perception. I truly believe that in this life, that perception is the number one driver of angst. Perception is the number one driver of anger. Perception is the number one driver, dare I say it, drastic actions. So many of us, we get to thinking that, we quote unquote have to do something. And we have to rush and we have to do this, and this. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm someone who is in favor of procrastinating and in favor of waiting, because I'm not. All that procrastination, all that waiting, you're just kicking the can down the road, and it may be more difficult for you to solve that problem than it would be right now. So with that, I will say, get yourself into a position mentally, because here in this dojo, it's from the inside out, that we'll be able to handle ourselves better, control ourselves better, have self-control while getting through the tough times, getting through the rough stuff. You build up yourself by building up the mind. You build yourself up so that way you can become what you feel that you're destined to be. Doing things like this will no doubt ensure better outcomes. Does it mean that you'll become a billionaire and you'll be able to rule the world? No. But what I am saying, that little piece of advice there can put you on the road to better outcomes. Because at the end of it all, it's all about better outcomes. Does it work? That's the number one standard of anything. Ooh, excuse me. Does it work? Because if it doesn't work, get rid of it. You don't need it. And if you don't need it, it's dragging you down. And if it's dragging you down, that's the opposite of progress. Now, if you're watching this video, no doubt you're liking what I have to say. You're liking hearing my voice. and the advice given. There are ways that you can support this channel without even having to do a Patreon or, you know, Venmo or Cash App or whatever. You can subscribe, you can like the video, you can share the video. Because I'm telling you, someone can use some of this advice. It could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be you, it could be your coworkers. So like and share the video with someone that you love, care for, and respect. You never know who might need it. Talk to you later.